Right, everybody, hello and welcome to another little episode. We're going to be looking today at 5 different credit cards. That's a total of 5. Have got kind of different features to them. So there's loads and loads of videos out there where you can look at the 5 best credit cards, all that kind of stuff. But through time as goes by, I would say that those offers change all the time. So the videos date themselves quite badly. This video here is not going to date itself because this is kind of consistent over the last 20 years of my experience with these particular firms of actual really good credit cards that actually allow you to do different things with them. So we're going to be looking at things like balance transfers, cash transfers, points and rewards, cashback schemes, and also credit building as well. So all of these credit cards are going to deal with those sort of things in their individual way. And as I say, consistently over probably about a 20-year period, they have consistently delivered these kind of things. So strap in, get yourself a cup of tea, whatever, sit down, make some notes. There'll be little segments in the video as well. We're going to divide it all up so you'll be able to skip around to have a look at any of these, take screenshots, whatever you want to do. So yeah, hope you really enjoy this video and it's useful to you. Amortization, bit of a difficult one to say that. Right, the first card that we're going to be looking at is the Barclays card. So Barclays Bank, big, massive national bank, super flexible, lovely website and the rest of it, really, really easy to use. And they're currently doing 22 months, 0% on balance transfers. So that means that if you've gone out and you've been maybe a little bit frugal or frivolous, even not frugal, frivolous, the other word. So maybe you've gone out and you've done a little bit of Christmas shopping and you spent a little bit too much money and you can't afford to pay your card bill off. Well, they're going to charge you probably around 30 to 40% interest on that every single month. So what you need to do is head over to somewhere like Barclays, get a credit card, do a balance transfer. So you transfer it. So what they do is they pay off your bill for you in complete entirety, and then they offer you 22 months, 0% of cost that. They charge you a small fee for doing the transfer, but it will be like 2 to 5%. So their fees at the moment are about 4% for 22 months on a balance transfer. So that's a really, really good thing. You can have a look on the website. We've got some little screenshots that I've done here for you. So just go to Barclays, apply for that. It's fairly easy. They're a little bit stingy on the credit limit, so you probably won't get anything like mega high unless you've got a really good track history with them, regardless of your credit scores and things. They do tend to start low and you have to build your rapport with them. So it's always good to start when you're young and try and build that rapport. So Barclays is my number one thing to go to for the first sort of little tip on credit cards. Have been consistent through my 20 years of dealing with credit cards. So the second company that I'll be looking at is MBNA. Now, actually, they're owned by a much larger bank, and they actually cover the credit card facilities for things like Halifax, Lloyds TSB, MBNA, a whole bunch of them. But basically, they're really, really good because they offer not only balance transfers like the Barclays card, but they actually offer cash transfers. So I love that personally myself. Really, really useful for your kind of budding entrepreneurial developers or anybody looking to expand their business or whatever, because you can actually transfer physical cash for a fee of around 5%. So if you transfer £10,000 cash, you pay 500 quid for it. 0% for probably around about 15 to 20 months, depending on what offers they've got available at that one time. So essentially, you can transfer cash as well as the balance transfers, and that's really useful. I've bought loads of property where I've bought it, but I've not really had the capital to actually refurbish the place. So what I've done is I've transferred the cash to myself, refurbished it, and then I've used the cash flow from the tenant who's paying rent in order to pay off the credit card bills. And you can claim the interest as tax deductible as well. So you even get your tax back on that little bit of interest. Sorry, the bank fees, interest, whatever you want to call it, the charges, if you like, for facilitating that interest-free cash transfer. MBNA have been there a lot for me. I've actually got a few credit cards under this kind of group. In fact, they allow you to have more than one, so you can actually do several balance transfers, or you could continue to use one card for your daily expenses, and then you could use the other one for your kind of balance transfers out, and they allow you to kind of merge the credit limits facility between them. So really, really good if you're in that kind of space of trying to get your feet on the ground with the kind of refurbishments, the BRR method. We've done lots of videos on that, so click up there if you want to have a look at any of the property videos, but really, really good for that. So the third credit card that we're going to look at that's been consistent for a long period of time, not kind of fly-by-nights. We're not looking at ones that come along with their special offers and then they end, or they're for new customers only, but ones that have been there for a long period of time. So American Express, there is a plethora of cards available on their website, but my favourite ones are either you travel a lot or you just like the cashback. Those are the only two that, in my opinion, are really worth doing. You can get the business ones, you can play for the platinum ones, and trust me, I've had the one that's made of metal and it's good flex when you're at a bar, but actually the fee they charge you for having that, about 650 quid a year, is quite expensive unless you're going to use all of the things that come with it, and it's quite difficult to use them. Nowadays, loads of stuff comes with things. You get free insurance here, there and everywhere, and we're going to touch on some freebies that we can get on another card later. So with American Express, what the main thing that they do is point systems or cashback. So every time you use your card, you can get points for flights, or you can get points or pounds, if you like, actual physical money back into your account. So it accumulates for a whole year, and then you get it credited off of your anniversary statement. So if you took out a credit card on the 1st of May, you get it off your 1st of May statement. In the first year, they often offer more as an incentive to use the card and so on. But over time, it then reduces down. But they've been consistent for a very, very long time, way more than I've been using credit cards. So American Express is a really, really good kind of way of getting some money back off of things. They don't do all the balance transfers, but if you spend a lot of money or you like the air miles, then definitely something for you to use. I know American Express doesn't always get accepted everywhere, but there are more and more pay terminals that will accept it, especially even those kind of like small merchants where you've got like the little card machines and stuff like that. They'll accept them as well. So basically, American Express is now accepted a lot wider places. So that kind of fear factor of, I don't know if they're going to take Amex or not, shouldn't really be a thing anymore. But overriding, you get all your bonus points and so on. So the fourth card that we're going to look at is actually from New Day, who actually own Aqua. They've got many different credit cards, but Aqua is actually a really good credit card if you want to build your credit rating. So I've always talked about credit ratings. It's really important that you build that up, especially if you're going to be borrowing money, you're going to be kind of looking at creative ways of financing things and lending and so on like that. You want to have a really, really good credit rating. And one of those ways is to spend a little bit of money on your credit card, pay it off, and then spend a little bit of money and then pay it off in full every single month. And then that will help build your credit rating. If you don't have a credit card and you're scared of spending too much money on it and not being able to pay it off, start with one with a really, really low limit. These Aqua ones, they have limits of like 200, maybe 250 pounds on them. So you can't get out of control with them. But the key is to pay it off every single month. One of the major benefits with Aqua is it actually gives you a free credit score. So it's backed by Experian. So rather than paying $14.99 for Experian, you can actually get it for free if you have an Aqua card. And that will help you track your credit rating, and it will help you see kind of tips and hints, if you like, as to where you can improve it, things that are knocking it down, and that very much like the Experian app, because it's basically based on that. So save yourself 15 quid a month, get yourself an Aqua card, build your credit rating, and then you can go on to doing some more creative things with, say, like the likes of MBNA and Barclays, where you're transferring balances around. So I hope that's useful. Right, and your fifth tip here or card that's been of mega use. Now, this is quite a new card, and I know I've said about 20 years, but these people have been around for a while and they're actually backed by another bank. But we're talking about Capital on Tap, or CAP on Tap for short. So this is exclusively aimed at businesses, but it's basically anybody with a limited company. You can get sole trader ones, but they prefer limited companies, and they will give you a credit card with an expenditure limit on it set appropriately for your business. But there are two major things that they do. They give you 1% cash back on everything you spend. And I know 1% doesn't sound like a lot, but you've got to remember with the American Express, bearing in mind that's a personal account, and normally you get more with personal accounts. 1% is quite high. Theirs drops down to about 0.5% at American Express. So with Cap on Tap, you get 1%. You can have that either as cash back off of your bill, a bit like American Express, but you can have it anytime you like. You just go in and press a button, or you can actually use it for things like staff rewards. So you could buy like a load of Amazon gift vouchers and maybe do like an employee of the month scheme. So then it makes you look really good as the employer, but it isn't actually costing anything because this is money that you've already going to be spending anyway. And you can tie it with your Xero or your accountancy software, so it picks up on all the transactions. So it's seamless from that point of view. And then the other thing it does is it's a credit facility. So you can actually transfer money out of your credit card into your business for a very short term. So if you're a bit short on wages, for instance, you can transfer the money into the pot. And then when you've got your client that owes you money or whatever, and you've got the money for the wages, you can transfer it back. You will pay a fee for that. And it's fairly high, around about 30%, but it will get you out of a pickle very quickly. You try going to your bank on the 26th of the month, telling them that you need 30 grand for the 28th of the month. You will find that you won't be able to raise it that quickly. So if you discover yourself in that position, your Cap on Tap card is a really useful tool for you to just go 30 grand in, 5 days later, 30 grand back out. You probably paid 500 quid for the privilege of doing that, but it's got you out of a sticky position. So those are my 5 kind of credit cards that I use personally or have recommended to people over the last 20 years, where they're trying to build their credit history, they're trying to maximize their return on their credit card expenditure or any expenditure. And anybody that knows me personally, I'm a massive fan of credit cards. I literally hardly ever use my debit card anymore. Why would I go into Sainsbury's or other supermarkets available? Why would I go in there and tap on the till with my real money, if you like, and not get 1% cash back, not get the bonus points, not build my credit history, and then I just use my actual current account money to pay off the bill? I don't understand why anybody would pay with their current account anymore, not really, when you can get all of those things. I mean, I probably get in excess of about £2,000 to £3,000 a year of cash back or money that has come in, or bonus points or anything like that. So that's £3,000 that I'm like leaving on the table essentially if I don't use these particular cards in such a manner. And then, as I said before, incredibly useful with the likes of MBNA or anybody that does cash or balance transfers when you're trying to do refurbishments and you're trying to cash flow them properly. A little bit of a fee in order for you to actually proceed and get on with the job. So yeah, those are my kind of 5 key credit cards that I think are useful to anybody in their stage of their career. So not just a kind of, these are the 5 best credit cards at this moment in time, because that fluctuates all over the place. There are probably ones that give you slightly more points, slightly less, but they're introductory offers or whatever. These ones have been consistent over a long period of time. And I think building those consistent relationships with your credit cards is really, really important. I've managed to get my limits really quite high with some of the credit card providers by constantly borrowing and paying it off and showing that I am a good person to lend money to and that I'm responsible with it. So if you like this video, don't forget to leave a little description below or comment or something like that. Press the like button. Go and have a look at some of their other videos where we talk about property and doing some of this stuff that I've touched on, or in businesses where I'm talking about trying to maximize your profits and the rest of it. Look at all those things and really try to kind of build your wealth, if you like. This is kind of assisting with that kind of mentality, if you like. So hopefully you like that. Don't forget to subscribe. If you want to come on our podcast, don't forget to travel over to www.matthewcox.biz You can check out all our existing podcasts. So if you're a business owner and you're struggling with your kind of growth of your company or where you're going to head on it, get on our show. We can have a good chat about it and a bit of an natter. It's all free of charge, and you can have all of that footage for your own social media usage at a later date. So with that said, I will say goodbye, and I shall see you in the next video.